Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top tight end trends for week 7. You ready?
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, before we get started, let me just tell you, we're looking for the trends. We're looking for tight ends that are going up and going down. So let's look at the results from week 6. This is the top 10. Trey McBride is number 2. What'd he do? He got a receiving touchdown, 72 receiving yards. If we come here, we look at some other Michael Mayer. What'd he do? 50 receiving yards, 1 receiving touchdown. So this is our top 10. Now, these are the results for the top 20 of tight ends. And now we're going to move on to the top 30. So this is a good list. Sometimes you want to know if somebody's doing well, but when I look at this and I'm looking for some tight ends, I want to know, well, that's great. They did results. Let me see that list highlighted. And this is the rostered. So how did they do compared to what's the percentage of rostered amongst the league? Michael Mayer is only 2.8%, but he came in 5th. Higbee, only 3.1% rostered, came in 8th. And that's what this is. So I'll give you a minute to digest that because this is important to know. Darren Waller was 15, but we're not looking at that. We know he's already rostered. So this takes the top 40% rostered and down, and you're looking for some standouts, which is very good to see this and see it highlighted like this. But now I want to take off that rostered, and then that's how that list would look if you're looking at any fantasy football list. Now, the next thing I want to do, I want to focus on the top 10, but now I want to use it for the trending up. What are the players that are trending up? And how we compile this is it takes, this is week 6 and they played all 6 games, they'll take the first 3 weeks and compare it to the last 3 weeks. They only played 5 games. They'll take the last 2 games and compare it to the previous 2 weeks. And that's what this list is. So you're looking for some standouts here. Mason Taylor, what did he do? 2 receiving yards. That's where you get this. Well, he's played every game. So that's why he had a good 4th and 5th week compared to that. You look at points and yardage. Now you can see why he's on this list trending up, even though he had a bad week 6. So let's look at this again. Now we're just looking at the top trending up players for week 6. Take a look at this list. Higbee, Knox, Pitts, Hayward, Beck. Beck, you gotta look into a little closer. Every now and then there's a little glitch in it. Now let's look at the top 30. And these are all the players that are trending up. It doesn't take much for a tight end to trend up. Now, out of all the players that are trending, let's look at which ones are rostered well. So Mitchell Evans, barely rostered. Mason Taylor, barely rostered. Moving up though. So this gives you another list to look at. So these are the players that are trending up and with their rostered percentage. You see Travis Kelce is picking it up, but he's well rostered. And now we're going to take off that highlight. That's what our trending up looks like when it balances the games. So let's go back to our top 10 and look at these results, but now we want to use the trending down. So which tight ends are trending down? And keep in mind, this doesn't account for players that get injured. It doesn't account that's it. If it's injured somewhere in between. If they played and they played the game and they had no points, it'll count it. If they didn't play, it won't count it. But Zach Ertz. Now, Zach Ertz he played well, right? He scored last night. So let's look why he's on that list. So 6 for 6, 43 rushing yards, Washington, not Arizona. So let's look. So he's been getting some yards. Doesn't take account here. There's the TDs, and doesn't it take account that 5th week? So it's going to take week 6, week 4, and compare to week 3 and week 2. And or we'll have to look into that closer, but that gives us something to go off of. And now we're going to look at our top 20 trending down. So we're looking for top names in this one. So Trey McBride is trending down on this stat. And then let's go back and round it out. This is what all of them look like. And now we're going to look at which ones are rostered. And so now we're looking for rostered high in a sense. So I'm going to have to edit this. But this is what that looks like. A lot of reds, a little overwhelming. So let's just switch it to trending up and see, well, here's the trending up. I don't see Trey McBride there. So let's go back to trending down and find Trey McBride and see why. So last week he got into the end zone, 72 receiving yards. So let's look what he's doing. So this is the receiving yardage. This is the TDs, and this is his points. So you can see if you take these 3 weeks and compare it to those 3 weeks, he is trending down. And that is how I try to help you point out some stats that are already out there, but I try to point it out and show you what it looks like using some different type of graphs. And that's pretty much going to do it for us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And always, good luck this week.